let's just stay right there, shall we? Talk about these
Let's
76ers. Because my.
Yeah.
What an absolute shit show this has turned into. 2 wins so far to start the season. Guys, the three of us have played as many games for the Sixers as George, Maxey, and Embiid have, okay? It's trouble there. We saw they had a players-only meeting. Maxey got in Embiid's grill, told him to be on time, smart enough, stop with the tardiness. This, of course, from Shams. And, things aren't well in Philly right now. How much of this is on the player? Like, John, take us in this players-only meeting, right? Like, we have this. Is it only the stars that can talk?
So players only meeting is just kind of to air everything out. I've had a few, but I've never heard of a players only meeting that is targeted at the best player. Usually it's the top guys kind of either holding each other accountable or saying what they need from you. And you say, hey, look, this is what we need from you. Hey, pass the ball, man. Like, you're selfish, right? Like, I never heard of a players only meeting that's not about basketball. So that is something that's interesting to me. But when I heard that and Shams reported that, which, Shams the guy, what he says is law, I guess, makes all the sense in the world. Paul George is there coming off. So he's trying to fill it out. He's trying to find his way. Maxey, the young kind of all-star, but Embiid is your guy, and he's late, and he's not on time, and he's tardy, and that's probably just a small thing. There's other things going on in that facility and that team that probably aren't being talked about. If I, could put my hand on it, and I've been in the NBA, so he's just doing a lot of things that guys aren't liking, and if you can't hold your star guy accountable, you have no chance of being good. You have no chance. So for Maxey to go to him and say you need to be on time and you need to be a team guy. Like when I play with Giannis, he was never late. He was always on time. If coach got after him, yes, sir, coach. He was the last guy in the gym, the first guy in. Hey, look, if he didn't feel like lifting weights, he's in there lifting weights. So that right there shows me a 211 right there. That's why they're 211. They're star player. If you can't hold them accountable, then who else is? What are we going to do? We can do whatever we want here. It's kind of like you letting the players run the organization, which is that's why we have front office staff and coaching staff and everything. So I am appalled at how that's going down. I mean, we kind of predicted it, Chris, at the beginning of the season, like this could go bad. We didn't think it would go this bad.
Yeah, look, I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, like you said, we thought it might go off the rails a little bit just with Joel Embiid's status being up in the air. And of course, you can't account for injuries. It's unfortunate what happened with Tyrese Maxey. But I tweeted this out yesterday on my social media account at Walder Sports, if you're not following me yet. Joel Embiid, right now, revered as one of the greatest centers in NBA history in terms of being like just a skilled big, can shoot the three ball, can attack the basket, one of the greatest ever to do it. At this stage, I would not want him on my basketball team. And I think there's a lot involved with that, not just to the fact that everything on his body has been injured at some point or another in his career. But now these stories are coming out about him being late to meetings and not giving 100% effort. Dude, you're like 30 years old. You're at this stage of the career where you're vying for an NBA championship. You should be doing everything within your power to get out there on the basketball court and get yourself into game shape. Like, I know you're trying to avoid back-to-backs and not trying to put mileage on your knees and your ankles and what have you. But this is a new-look Sixers team. It's not even just the addition of Paul George and what have you. Like, the bench is brand new. That you got, like, Drummond in the mix, a lot of veteran shooters, Caleb Martin out there as well. You need to build some rapport with these guys, and he doesn't seem the least bit interested in getting out there. And I think I can't speak on his behalf, and I can only work off of, like, what media people in the know are talking about. But it seems like a lot of the attention that he's getting, a lot of the negative attention that he's getting is starting to wear on him. Like, the city of Philly is starting to turn on him. And he's like, dude, I've been laying my body on the line for you guys for years. I've tried to get this team to a championship, and you're going to turn on me now? Screw that. I'm going to take my, foot off the gas. I'm going to start like mailing it in a sense. And I'm not going to be there out there as much as you need me to be. And I think that's kind of having a lingering negative effect throughout the roster, because why should any of these new guys be giving 100% effort if they're looking at the megastar on the team who just signed a brand spanking new contract and he's not even giving maximum effort. Like, it's a bad look across the board. People are calling for Nick Nurse to get fired, and now you have Tyrese Maxey, who was waving the Joel Embiid flag for years, saying, kind of ease up on the guy, like he's hurt, he's trying his best, and now he's calling him out in meetings. The only saving grace for this franchise right now is that they're 2-11 and in the Eastern Conference, where they're 4 games out of the 6th seed, and they can avoid the play-in tournament altogether. Like John alluded to, if they go on a winning streak and they get their shit together anytime soon, they're right back in the thick of it. But for right now, it's just a bad look across the board.
This is something I heard earlier as well from former executive Amin El Hassan. This isn't new with Embiid. Like, this was happening as a rookie. Like, he was missing the second bus going to the arena. Not just the first bus, but the second bus as well. That's usually the old vets that are going to get some shots up or whatever. So this has been an ongoing problem his whole career. But now that they're losing, now is when this amplifies. But it's also, why didn't they have a veteran in there before being like, hey, man, show up, be on time. This is real simple stuff. It's taking Tyrese Maxey to do it.
Yeah, it is interesting. Everything's all good in NBA when you're winning. You can be late to the bus, you can do whatever you want. When you're losing, it gets amplified, and that's part of being a professional. J. Kidd had a quote, and it kind of goes along with how you have to play. He says, "Look, it's an unspoken rule. If you like going out and you like partying and hanging out, if you're going to hoot with the Owls, you better soar with the Eagles. And when you don't do that, now we're going to focus on why you can, and that's going to be our first thing. Hey, maybe you go out too much." So with Embiid, look, if you're going to be late and you're going to be dragging and be late to these meetings, when you get on that court, it better be maximum effort. Like, you better play your tail off and hold guys accountable on that court. And if you're not going to do that, that's when the side eyes raises. And I'm going to be honest with you. If my teammate that's making $70 million a year, it can't show up and be on time, like, he could take a helicopter to the practice facility if he needs to every day, then it's just going to create tension. It's going to create kind of like one of those, hey, like, why y'all not tripping on him, on big fella, and y'all worried about what I'm doing? And that just creates bad energy, and it becomes a cancer almost. So I'm sure he's not happy that got out of the private meeting, because as we've seen in the NBA, these private meetings are never private. And so who knows who leaked it, but just Tyrese Maxey is a clutch athlete, and the clutch loves using the media to create their storyline. So just keep an eye on that.
And so just to add, at this stage of his career, if you need a veteran to get in your ear and tell you to get your act together, it's not going to happen.
Right.
It's not even a veteran.
Years of this. Well, it's not even like, I mean, you could have, like, Kyle Lowry could have been the guy to come out and say, like, because at least Kyle Lowry has a championship. He was the starting point guard on the 2019 team. He could have come out and said, like, hey, Joel, what are you doing? And again, I feel like we're piling on him at this point. We've watched him for 3 games. The guy doesn't look right. The guy is not healthy.
It's tough for Kyle Lowry. I talked to Danny Green when he was with the Cavs, and they're like, oh, be a veteran presence. He said, I can't be a veteran presence if I'm not out there in the trenches with the guys. Now, Kyle Lowry's playing, but he is not a focal, integral part of that team. So when you talk about vets and older guys, Kyle Lowry can't do much. It's Joel Embiid, it's Paul George. I'm playing 15 minutes a game. I'm on my last kind of leg of my career, my swan song per se. I'm not about to be all in big fella's ear, man. I'm home. I got a ring with Toronto. They're going to put a statue up, man. Like, I just want to finish this thing strong and help my city and help my city team win. So Kyle Lowry, like, yes, Chris said, you're 31 years old. Who's going to tell you what to do? You are the best big man, quote unquote. Him and Jokic are the 2 guys in this league. So it's got to be on him. I'm still going to fade his props because, like Chris said, he does not look right. I'm taking his PRA under. I'm taking it every day until he hits it. I'm 3 for 3, I think, at the moment, 2 for 2. So we're good.
And we'll
at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Philly's playing tonight. We're going to learn a lot about this team against the Memphis Grizzlies team that just played last night. They lost at home to the Nikola Jokic, like the less Denver Nuggets. He was not out there last night. If Philly doesn't give maximum effort tonight, and we don't see, like, at least Embiid looking like that meeting gave it some sort of push, some sort of kick in the ass, I don't know. He might even sit at this point. I mean, they're so stingy with his status. But if Philly blows this opportunity tonight, these storylines are just going to keep progressing. Like, it's one of the more fascinating angles of the entire NBA season, and Philly could still turn it around. Like 2 months from now, we may be looking at this team as like another contender in the East. But for right now, when it rains, it pours, and it's just really just an ugly look for this franchise.